Welcome to the Indie Corner, where we talk about all the Volume 9 of More Than Meets the Eye, and that covers issues 45 through 49. Are you guys excited and ready to get into our second to last volume?
I am.
It doesn't feel like we did this for a long time. Like,
See, he says that, and then last time we did it, he's like, I feel like we've been doing this for a year.
yeah.
No, I feel like we just started.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm sad that this is gonna end like 2 weeks from now, but like, I'm also not sad because I'm just like, I feel like it went by quick. I also feel like it
It's
went by too long.
bittersweet. Or at least I'll call it that anyway, since this is technically my podcast.
Word. Alright.
Alright, so are you guys ready to hop into it?
Yep, I'll share the thing. Alright, there it is.
Alright. So starting off with issue 45 of More Than Meets the Eye, which is, as always, written by James Roberts, and this time the art is by Alex Milne and Brian Shearer. So we open our volume with a quick montage of off-panel wacky adventures the Scavengers have had since their last full issue appearance in Volume 2. So it's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, wasn't that like the second episode we did that, or like the second or third?
It sure was.
Jesus.
Yeah, I feel like they should probably have included them more if they wanted to like sprinkle them in, because there's such like a gap in between these.
Mhm.
But it is what it is. Anyway, in the present day, wait, what?
You want to turn the music off?
Oh no! Why would I do that?
You just
Okay.
made a
Turn off
scream
the
over
music.
it, Matt.
It's from Fall of Cybertron. Nobody turns it off.
Yeah, man, you know the fuck. Come on, how dare you?
Okay.
No, I lowered it for you, man. It's okay.
Thank you.
Alright, so in the present day, the group is playing a game with their Nerf guns when they realize nobody is piloting their ship and crash into a mountain. A few hours later, we see the crew is entirely unaffected by the crash, and Misfire, who is this purple guy here, is trying to rehabilitate Grimlock, who, if you remember, is the Dinobot leader they found, again, all the way back in Volume 2.
My boy, my second boy.
Yeah. So if you recall, Grimlock has a minor case of severe brain damage. So Misfire is trying to get him to write his name, but Grimlock just kind of like pisses himself and then goes for Misfire's throat.
Yeah.
Elsewhere on board their ship, Crankcase and Fulcrum, who aren't really that important, but they're these guys, are watching shitty post-war stand-up when their fellow teammate Croc comes in telling them that they're wasting their lives watching TV and editing their own wiki articles, while other Decepticons are making bank off of actual careers now. Suddenly, Grimlock bursts through the door with Misfire holding on for dear life. The group manages to stop his rampage, but as Croc points out, with Grimlock getting stronger, they may not be able to control his outburst next time. Then the Scavengers get a call from a scrapper named Demas, who says he's close by and has a proposal for the team. Leaving Grimlock behind, the group head out for their job, and it's explained that the guy they're meeting with gets physically ill watching people transform. So when they get on site, the guy makes them wear inhibitor chips to stop them from transforming. Though he notes that the chips should stop working after an hour. On the way to his office, Demas tells the group that while he mainly sells scrap metal, what he doesn't sell he uses to make for real friends to sell to aliens. Then he reveals that he wasn't going to offer the team jobs, but rather he wants to buy Grimlock off of the group for $500 million space dollars each.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Demas leaves the group alone to think it over, and while he's gone, he makes a call to somebody saying how he was supposed to have protection and he's on a list. But as he turns around, he sees it's too late for him. Meanwhile, the group debates what they should do about Grimlock, taking a vote that ends up 3-2 to sell him, despite Misfire insisting that Grimlock needs him. Just then, the scrapper comes flying through the glass, telling the group to run as the badge is slammed down to the floor, and we see Fort Max is after them. And that's the end of issue 45. So what do we think?
No, okay, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, right? I'm gonna be real with you. This issue as a whole, I thought was so dumb and just so ridiculous in terms of like these characters. Because it's just like, I'm just not used to just Transformers, even though I've done like 10 volumes at this point, like 10 episodes. Them just being so casual with each other and just talking about like ordinary shit. So like, so this I was like, all right, it's fine. but seeing my boy back, seeing the Dwayne The Rock Johnson of Transformers return after like how many episodes? It's been forever since we've seen him.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy that I was once I read the ending, I was like, nah, I'm looking forward to the next issue just because mostly just Fort Max focused, and I love
I
it.
feel like he needs like the Doom music behind him in these issues.
Honestly, yeah, but overall this issue was fine until the ending, but also just like my boy because I love Grimlock. Y'all know this.
I mean, you can't really hate the Scavengers because you literally see them in toy form at the very start. I just love that little detail.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a really fun bit. They had some funny bits.
Yeah, but Matt, what do you think? What do you think, Matt?
That's kind of it. I thought
it doesn't matter what you think, Matt. It doesn't matter what you think.
He did diss the music for War for Cybertron, so he has a point.
Okay, I mean, yeah, we're on the third time through it now. Okay, it doesn't matter. I think the next issue.
Just kidding. Continue.
Damn, I feel like we're off the rails today. There's a lot of bits going nowhere on and off screen. All right, so Matt, if you genuinely have nothing to say for this issue, then we can move on.
I thought the Scavengers were like whatever. They were funny. They had some funny bits, but I'm not attached to any of them. And Fort Max was cool, but Mikey talked about that already. So yeah.
Yeah, like I said earlier, you don't really see them enough to be quite attached to them the way I think they want you to, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're very lukewarm every time they appear in anything. Like when we see them appear, like not much, but yeah, like I'm just not like really that invested into them, like what Matt said.
Yeah, I wish we'd seen them at all in the past 40 issues. They were in, I think they said issue 8. In either this issue, the next one, they mentioned that we last saw them in issue 8. So like it's been forever.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. I feel like we were meant to see more, and then like I don't know if like events or like other stuff got in the way or what, but yeah.
I think
it's weird to like insert them again after they've been gone for so long.
Yeah. And like how long has it been since like in terms of like the timeline? Because like I feel like the last time we saw them, they were dealing with Grimlock and his brain damage, and then how many issues later they're still dealing with this shit?
If I had to guess, it's probably been like over a year. Like I think it's been like a year and a half or so, like in canon. It doesn't really matter all that much. All right. Okay. So moving on to issue 46, different artists on this one, a ton of them. I don't know what they were all doing, but they're all there. So getting into it, this issue begins with a flashback where we see Fort Max is working with Red Alert to stop the sale of Cybertronian technology to less advanced races. If you're wondering how Red Alert is alive, apparently it happens off-panel in an included prose story for some goddamn reason with one of the issues in Volume 4.
Wait, Red Alert died?
He like killed himself or like tried to kill himself, and Rodimus got real sad about it. And then they like threw him in like storage. And then at some point he came back off-panel. And they just like drop that like you're supposed to know it. But I don't know what fucking comic reader is gonna read a fucking included prose story in some random ass issue.
I don't remember this at all. Like
I didn't know about it either. I had to look on the wiki, and then I had to look back through my like volume 4, and it was like there right at the end. It's like, oh, it's like 5 pages of text. Like
I mean, granted, all the Transformers on the Lost Light look exactly the same to me, but like I just thought he was just around. I didn't even realize that he died, like, or was in storage. That's just strange.
It was that was like back in volume 3, so it was like a while ago.
Okay, that's probably why.
But yeah, he's back now, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Anyway, so Fort Max now has Magnus's old job of being like a space cop, basically. But he feels that he has to be more preventative of crime than Magnus was. Once they come across the Scavengers ship, Red Alert gathers intel from their wiki pages, and so Fort Max heads to take them on, thinking they're much tougher and more impressive than they actually are. In the present, Fort Max tells the group that they're under arrest for trafficking Cybertronian technology, and that they will be coming back to his ship with him. However, Misfire says that won't give them a chance to escape and causes a distraction where they momentarily incapacitate Fort Max and the Scavengers run away, splitting up momentarily because, quote, he can't chase us all. So as they're hiding, Misfire tells Croc to stop trying to use his communicator since no other Decepticons are going to come save them. And he also points out that that's not even a real communicator, but one of Croc's old War Bunny's index fingers. However, Croc asserts that it's both of those things, and while it usually doesn't pick up any Decepticon signatures, today it's picking up hundreds nearby. Just then, Fort Max reveals that Demas, the guy who wanted to buy Grimlock, was a robot trafficker and essentially lobotomized and mutilated a bunch of beast formers to sell them to be tortured off-world by aliens. Additionally, this process, called domestication, is said to be irreversible. Of course, it's worth noting that none of the Scavengers knew about this. Then Crankcase says they probably shouldn't let Fort Max find out about Grimlock, which Red Alert picks up, meaning Fort Max now knows about Grimlock and leaves the group behind to go after the T-Rex. With Fort Max gone, Croc gives a speech about the importance of mental health, and then Crankcase reveals that he wanted Fort Max to pick up his transmission about Grimlock so he could go save his fellow Autobot and leave them alone. But as Misfire points out, Grimlock was once a prisoner in Fort Max prison, not his friend. So the group has to go save him, but can't catch up with Max as they still can't transform yet. But we change scenes as Crankcase has an idea. Back on the Scavengers ship, Fort Max and Grimlock fight, with Max explaining that with Grimlock in his current state and seemingly a Decepticon, he doesn't have to worry about not killing him. So using their transformed brethren as horses, the Scavengers make it back to the base and interrupt Max's beatdown on Grimlock.
I'm like, where did they get horses from? Like, where the fuck did they come from? That's
one of the fucking cowboy splash page. I don't know what to say.
Oh my god.
So the Scavengers explain that Grimlock isn't their prisoner or their ally and how they've been rehabilitating him. And Fort Max says if that's the case, then he'll take Grim with him and get him the help he needs. Spinister, who's another purple one here, he's also not that important, then speaks up and says the choice to go should be up to Grimlock, and for the first time, Grimlock manages to stutter out Misfire's name, meaning he wants to stay with them, though Max says it doesn't matter because they're all still under arrest. Realizing they're in trouble, Croc claims his communicator is a detonator for a bomb he planted back at the office. Fort Max points out all the flaws for this to be possible and calls their bluff, but after seeing Crankcase show no emotion holding the detonator, leaves not wanting to risk anything and tells the group he won't forget about this. After Fort Max leaves, it's revealed that Crankcase wasn't stone cold. His face just froze up, and the Scavengers decide, with the second chance, so to speak, they're going to start helping people. Later, Misfire walks Grimlock back to his quarters, and Grimlock actually speaks a full sentence thanking him, leaving Misfire to say that maybe there's more going on with Grimlock than they realize. Some would even say maybe there's more than meets the eye there.
Oh my god.
But elsewhere, we see when Fort Max returned to the office, he found a note left by Spinister telling him that the domestication process can be reversed, meaning all the animal friends can be saved, and giving Max a new outlook on the Decepticons. Finally, 2 hours later, a couple of goons show up at the office and go down into an underground bunker, revealing that they were growing something, but that they're going to have to abort and start over, and that's the end of issue 46. So what do we think about the Scavengers subplot?
I thought it was fun. I like this issue.
It was fun.
Considering that they're meant to be the worst Decepticons in history, I really like this story quite a bit.
Wait, these guys are the worst Decepticons in history?
Well, early in the issue, Tarn
We established that way back in volume 2. It's a line that said.
Well, Tarn's list, when Tarn was looking over the list, the Scavengers are the 6 worst ranked Decepticons in history, and that is a legitimate fact in the IDW's run.
I thought you meant worst, as in like they're like the most like badass Decepticons. I'm like, these guys? Really?
No.
They just suck. But not in like a fun way.
Decepticons in history.
Okay, gotcha. No.
Well, considering how one of them's an action
guys,
master.
one at a time here. I think Matt had something to say first before you go, Fletcher.
Yeah, just Demas his entire deal is creepy and awful and terrible. But I thought he was a fun villain. Yeah, no, it was a good issue.
It was cool. It was cool. I mean, definitely like seeing Fort Max trying interacting with them all, especially it's like trying to compare. It's like kind of like watching reading an issue where it's from the criminal's perspective and like they're trying to convince the Punisher not to kill them all. That's what I thought. That was what I was getting from it. Like I don't know why it was fun. The stuff with Grimlock I think is my favorite part. I do like the fact that he's kind of like low key lying to them and convincing everyone that he's brain dead when he really isn't. That's fun. Yeah, no, I thought it was good, and I just it was good. And Fort Max and this was fun. But I have a question though, because I'm just curious. I want to poke your brain. So since this the whole turning Cybertronians into toys things is like apparently not like reversible. So if it is reversible, will they just be like tinier Transformers because they're like really small here?
Bro, I don't fucking Soundwave takes into a fucking boombox and he's like 20 feet tall. Like I don't know.
Also like Megatron turned into a gun and he was not the biggest gun ever. So
like they explain like they can like change size, but again, it's just Transformers bullshit. So go along with it.
There has to be commercials to go along with it too.
Yeah. So Fletcher, did you have something to say about the actual issue earlier before I cut you off?
Oh no, I was just saying how since they're literally the worst, how Croc's toy was literally an action master.
I'm sure that would mean something to me if I knew anything about the toys. I do not. I'm not a collector. I'm just a comic reader, which I don't know if that makes being invested in Transformers comics better or worse.
Okay, in that case then, Scavengers, T-Rex, Fort Max, no other thoughts.
Well said. Any other thoughts here?
No, that's it.
Right, yeah, I think this had some fun action. I think the banner between the characters is fun. Like we said, though, not super invested in the Scavengers as a group, and you don't really need to be because they appear so little. But I guess it's technically the lightest story in this volume because all of this volume is just like dark themes.
Mm-hmm. I will say this though, when we get James Roberts for the interview, because that will happen. I want it to happen. I'm gonna just ask him why.
I have no way to contact this man. I'm not putting that on my personal Twitter.
But I'll probably ask him why is there not more Grimlock in this book, because there should be more Grimlock in this series. That's all I'm gonna say.
They appear more in the sequel series, but there's also some weird shit with them going on there.
Gotcha. All
right. So moving on to issue 47 here. This time the art's by Brenton Cahill. I don't know how to say his last name still, but him. So hopping into it, we begin this issue with Getaway explaining his tragic backstory to TAILGATE about how he was made to order soldier, and the first thing he ever did was run away, hence his name being Getaway. So in the present, Getaway gaslights TAILGATE into thinking he wanted fake nails that are like chrome domes and needle arms, and explains that if they want to be official, there's like 4 things they got to do. The first 3 Getaway's already done, which are holding hands, opening up, and giving gifts. But the 4th is an act of devotion, which TAILGATE has to do for him. And while this is happening, this is intercut with Cyclonus being sad and bitchless. I can relate, right?
Wow. Okay.
Oh no.
We do not need to fire shade on each other on the indie corner here. Come on now.
Why not? Matt's okay with it. What's he gonna do? Stand up to me? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, speaking of Cyclonus, cut over to him knocking on a Whirl of all people's doors, saying that he needs to talk about TAILGATE. As he explains to Whirl, he's sad that his only real friend doesn't hang out with him anymore, and he's worried about Getaway only telling TAILGATE what he wants to hear. Whirl responds to this by laughing in Cyclonus's face because of his revelation that his friend has other friends. And Cyclonus is like, wait, you don't understand. I saved his life and I'm gay. and Whirl's like, so get over it. TAILGATE's better off with Getaway. Cyclonus gets up to leave, but before he can go, Whirl asks him why he came to him out of everyone on the ship for relationship advice. And Cyclonus explains that since they're super not friends, Whirl is the only one who would tell him the truth, even if it hurt, and it did. So sometime later, it's revealed that Whirl, Getaway, and Atomizer are all working together to get Megatron rearrested / executed, and that Whirl's now having cold feet about using Tailgate as a pawn after Whirl failed to coerce Megatron into a fight a few volumes ago. Getaway refuses to rethink the plan as he's put too much time and energy into grooming Tailgate, and we learned that this act of devotion he asked of Tailgate was to use his new needle accessories to brainwash Megatron in his sleep with an anti-villain virus so he won't be evil anymore. Of course, this virus is a bunch of bullshit, and the real plan is that when Megatron wakes up, he'll be so angry that he beats Tailgate to death, and then boom, one way or another, no more Captain Megatron.
Oh my god, this is so dark. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but since the plan is already in motion and Whirl's no longer going to be any help, the other two blast him, and Getaway exposits that the blast is going to knock him out and make him forget he was ever part of the scheme. Using the last of his consciousness, Whirl uses his human avatar to appear outside of Cyclonus' brooding window, which makes him think something is wrong. He runs to Whirl's room and sees Whirl sitting there saying he's not receiving visitors today, which is strange because they just talked a few minutes ago, and that all of Whirl's clocks are set to 113, which is Megatron's cabin number. Cut over to Tailgate, who thinks he's about to brainwash Megatron when Megatron wakes up and immediately grabs him by the head. But before Megatron can crush him to death, Cyclonus shows up stabbing him with his sword and beating him up so him and Tailgate can escape.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
So as the duo are running, Tailgate realizes he's been set up and that all the romantic stuff he thought he was doing with Getaway, he's actually already done with Cyclonus. Just then, their escape route is cut off and they're surrounded by ship security. As Cyclonus reaches for his sword, security opens fire on them. Cyclonus uses his body as a not-so-human shield and says goodbye to Tailgate before collapsing. Not knowing if he's dead or alive, Tailgate gets so overwhelmed that he explodes, sending a wave of energy across the entire ship, and that's the end of issue 47.
Bro, this is like Romeo and Juliet, but gay.
Getaway.
I mean, that's not what Romeo and Juliet's like, but okay.
I love this issue.
It's good. It's good.
I think it's so fun. I love the whole love ceremony thing. I love this end reveal that he's done it all with Cyclonus already. Oh, it's so good. I love this issue.
I wanted to say one complaint that like I thought Atomizer at first when I read it was Rodimus because they all look the fucking same.
That would be wild.
They got the same colors.
I literally was like, yo, what the fuck? Like Rodimus is plotting to like basically like you know reveal they have like exposed Megatron. Like that's fucking nuts. But no, it's just fucking Atomizer. But they look the same. But no, this issue was really fun. Like the whole like Matt pretty much said everything though. Like the whole devotion thing that was really interesting. And I love the page where it's freaking like you have that image of like Brainstorm and Chrome Dome, and then it's just like Cyclonus in the background, just look behind him, just like, why can't I have that?
Damn, I wish that were me.
It's so great. I laughed. It was so funny.
And yeah, I love this page here. This page I think is so good.
Oh, it's beautiful. No, this is actually a genuinely like great page of just like Cyclonus sacrificing himself for the love of his life. Apparently, with his fucking tailgate.
Yeah, there's some great art in this book. There's a lot of good spreads in this.
Yeah. I mean, what's his name? Yeah, Brett Cahill, whoever the hell drew this one. He did a really good job. I didn't realize it wasn't Milne because I was like, Milne. Like when I read, I was like, Milne improved so much. Like he leveled up for a 5th time. That's crazy. But then like, nah, it's just another artist. And
I don't know who the colorist was, but I feel like the colorist also went kind of hard on this issue.
Yeah, the colorist did enhance the art pretty well. But yeah, no, I like, and then the fact that like Tailgate like is so upset that like his love of his life died. He does a love beam and just explodes the ship. That's amazing. Like it's just like that. It's good. A lot of this stuff is really good. But yeah, I like this issue. This might be like my favorite out of them all. So.
Yeah, this is a really good issue. There's a lot of great character moments. I like the whole like conversation with Whirl. I thought that was really good.
Oh, yeah.
I like that they commit to the like not the bit, but like Getaway being like, a manipulative asshole who like doesn't care who he has to hurt to get what he wants. And
Yeah.
not so much in this series. A little bit, you kind of see like that's a pattern with him.
Yeah.
But I think this is a really good issue, like fully like making him a villain, I guess.
Yeah, and it's kind of when you just rewind the tape a little bit to that conversation that World has with Cyclonus, that was great. That was genuinely like I think one of my favorite things about the issue, just because he was brutally honest, and Cyclonus knew it because they don't like each other. So like that's kind of interesting to like be like, yeah, the best person that will tell you like the honest truth is someone that you hate. So I think that makes sense. So like, you know what, I like that a lot. It was really funny. Like World again. Deadpool of Transformers. He's so funny, and I like him in the stuff we see him in all the time. So that was good.
Do they hate each other though?
I mean,
yeah, maybe they could be friends.
maybe, but I don't know. Will we see it in this in for like until the last episode? Probably not. But like it's just for right now, I just think that they don't like each other. But who knows? Maybe they're low key frenemies. Is that
Thirsties.
Okay? But yeah, I got nothing to say. I thought this issue was great.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have anything else to add to that either. It's a good issue. All right. So issue 48. This another art change on here. I don't think any of the books in this volume are fully Alex Milne. I think it's just one starting issue.
I'm gonna say this right now, just as just to get people prepared. This art goes fucking hard. I love it.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts at the end on this arc, but we will get to that. All right. So, like I said, issue 48, written by James Roberts, art by Hayato Sakamoto. So, getting into it, we opened this issue with Skids in Rung's office, working to recover some of his repressed memories. As far as Skids can recall, during the war, he was a bomb negotiator, but in classic, this comic being really edgy fashion, the bombs were made out of people, and if they freaked out and you failed to put them out of their misery, they exploded.
Oh my god.
So that happened to Skids, and he was captured and taken to a Decepticon gulag / prison camp called Grindcore.
Yo, James Roberts need to go to therapy. Jesus fucking Christ. This is
it's dark as hell.
Yeah. So Skids remembers upon arrival that they fit their prisoners with inhibitor spikes to kill them if they try to transform, and that he was to be thrown in a cell with somebody, but that's where his memories fade out. In the present, Skids laments that it's taking too long to recover these deeply traumatic memories, and with Chromedom's help, he could recover them instantly. But as Rung points out, there's probably a good reason that these things are buried. As their session ends, there's a knock on the door, and it turns out Rung's self-proclaimed friend and colleague Freud is here to visit and introduces himself to Skids as a psychiatrist / criminal profiler, among other related professions.
It's okay, Matt. Me too.
His name is Freud.
It's so you know he's evil.
Well, it's actually really funny because Freud, Sigmund Freud, and then Rung is based on Carl Jung.
And Sigmund Freud was also evil.
Controversial, but evil.
Anyway, over in the ship's medbay, we see Cyclonus is still a bit roughed up, but survived from the last issue, though TAILGATE is now passed out. Megatron comes up to apologize, claiming he would never have really hurt TAILGATE, and that the ship's leadership all know about Getaway and Atomizer's plot to get him arrested, I guess.
Sure.
So back in Rung's office, Freud exposition dumps his backstory that he was mine huntering an ex neurosurgeon, which is like Chromedom's like memory guy kind of profession. Turned serial killer named Sunder. When the ship they were transporting him on blew up, and Sunder escaped, taking Freud as a hostage. Suddenly, Freud switches topics and demands access to Rung's patient notes, which obviously Rung doesn't want to give him. Though Freud attempts to blackmail him about something. Elsewhere, Skids is able to recover another part of his memories. This time, he's able to recall his cellmate was a guy named Quark, who, if you'll recall, was Brainstorm's crush that he wanted to time travel to save a few volumes ago. Upon meeting him, Skids sees he's trapped in his alt mode thanks to the spike inhibitor mentioned earlier. But using his Taskmaster-esque mutant powers, Skids is able to remove the device. Clark tells Skids, while his skills are impressive, not to stand out to avoid putting himself at risk, though Skids wants to figure out a way to escape. Just then, they hear someone's voice outside the cell, but Skids' memories cut out just before we can see who it is. Back with Rung and Freud, they go to Freud's ship, and Rung learns that he's still keeping Sunder on board with him as a prisoner, though Freud clarifies now that Sunder is more like his evil psychology partner. Rung says this is an inappropriate patient relationship, to say the least, and Freud fires back, revealing that because Rung kept getting too close to his patients, he technically doesn't have his license to practice psychiatry anymore. Rung tries to leave, but Freud only drags him closer to Sunder, revealing that Sunder has no eyes, as Freud's convinced him he needs to see a victim before he can use his power of fucking with their minds. Freud also explains that he needed the patient list to find people with the most fucked up / repressed memories to keep Sunder satisfied. Suddenly, Skid shows up harpooning Freud after receiving a distress message from Rung. However, Freud's able to roll Sunder's eyeballs to him, essentially powering up the serial killer. So, Thomas, if you'll take this panel away. If that's too small to read, let me know.
Oh no, I have the comic pulled up. Okay. There you are. Look at you all. So young and all thin-winged and bow-legged and blood-warm and new. And me, a mess of angles and frequencies, of sour light and brown noise and... Oh, the smell of you. You stink of sin. You reek of what you've done and what you'd do again if only you could overcome the shame of it all. I can help with that.
So with Sunder awake, he digs through Rung's mind to find all of the fucked up people on the ship, which, as you know, is a lot of them, and starts going into Skid's memories. Forced back into his repressed memories, we find out that the commandant was the voice on the other side of the cell, and that commandant was Tarn. And that's the end of issue 48. What do we think?
Sunder is scary as hell. I mean...
Yeah, no, that...
I mean, that panel where you get a close-up on his face without his eyes.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that's... So, like, remember that GJD member with the fucking, like, with the spiky face, with the removable face?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this kind of tops that as one of the most scary images in this comic. It is horrifying. Like, it generally bothered me when I was reading. I was like, "Oh my god, this is just like a weird." It made me cringe a little bit because I was like, "Oh Lord."
And what's even scarier about this is that he's technically an Autobot. Well, I mean,
you're lying.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, you see the badge in like a panel, but you kind of have to like look for it, you know.
And considering how Getaway is also an Autobot and he does freaking evil actions.
It's almost like this comic's trying to say something about there not being good guys.
But
beautiful.
But besides like the art, with this, it's so good. But no, I thought this issue was good. Nice to have a reminder that like Skids has like fractured memories, because I could completely forgot about it. Like this entire volume, like basically just like, hey, like y'all remember stuff that happened like way back in the beginning. Of course you didn't. So we're just gonna remind you about it like towards the end while we wrap things up. So like I like the fact that this one is kind of more like Skids focused, and him going through his memories, and obviously the Tarn reveal I thought was really interesting. I didn't really give a shit about Freud and Rung. I didn't really care much, besides the whole Sunder stuff. But I thought this issue was solid for the most part.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care about Rung. I've never cared about Rung. I don't care about him now. So the Rung aspect of the story just did not interest me.
Yeah, I stopped caring about Rung when you told us that we're not even going to see what he transforms into in this entire series. So,
like I said, I'll spoil it off camera at the end of this. So you got to wait another 2 weeks for that.
Whatever he turns into, it can't be better than Ambulon, so it doesn't matter.
Oh no, it can't be better than freaking Gigatron. You kidding me? Oh my god, this man, because Matt, you were not
there for that.
You didn't see what this freaking like Gundam Megazord of a man.
Megazord-looking fucker turned into a 2-headed dragon, and then if you go to the wiki, it says he has 6 alt forms.
Oh yeah, Gigatron.
When
Yeah,
Rebecca told me that shit, my jaw dropped. I was like, "There's no way," because this man turns into a 2-headed dragon that breathes fire. It makes no sense, but I loved it.
Yeah, this is a good place to plug the Drift series. Go watch that if you haven't already.
Yeah, please
Go
watch
watch
it.
that. Clearly, I haven't yet.
But it was a lot of fun. Watch that shit.
Oh, Ambulon turns into a single leg. That's the best.
Oh man,
It is pretty good.
Anyway, yeah, this issue is fine.
Yeah, I like the stuff with Skids. Like you said, Matt. Like Rung is there. I don't hate him. I don't love him. He's James Roberts or C. You know, he's kind of just there. You got to deal with whatever he's doing with him.
Yeah, and this and the next issue are just so wrong focused. What's my hair doing? Anyway, just so wrong focused. It's like whatever.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So with that said, let's get to this final issue of the volume. Issue 49. Again, the art is by the same artist as this past issue here. So picking up where we left off, Sunder is still unlocking Skid's memories while claiming he's liberating Skids and helping him celebrate his sin, whatever the fuck that means. Inside those memories, we see Tarn has put Skids to work fixing the camp's teleport generators, promising to release 50 prisoners if they work and when Skids is done, and kill 500 if they don't. Later, back in the cell, Quark tells Skids he's not beating the praise kink allegations, as he seems to be a bit too pleased with himself for successfully repairing the enemy's tech. Skids tries to defend himself, saying that with the teleporter operational, it'll help prisoners get transferred out of this hellhole rather than dying in it. Though I should note that these guys being teleported are still being sent to another, though less extreme, prison camp.
Okay.
Over in the present, Freud unlocks Sunder's cage, uncuffing him. Security tries to force Sunder back, saying that they can still have a happy ending, but Sunder responds saying, Thomas, if you'll read again from here.
sorry, I just need to get back to the panel. I'm
Oh, you're
sorry.
good. I probably should have sent them to you before we started this, but it is what it is.
Okay, so this one.
I can't see your screen, but sure.
All right, I got it. Oh yes, the happiest. Do you not realize I walk this world as the Deathbringer, as Mordlius himself? I am his vessel, the sin-dappled instrument of his will, and I bid that you rejoice, for today is the day you look inside yourselves.
Yeah, so time skip to sometime later, and Tailgate is awake and searching for people on a seemingly deserted lost flight when he comes across a silent getaway. Tailgate bemoans have all the people on board. He finds him and basically tells Getaway, fuck you, I got a real boyfriend now. Additionally, he comes across a weird metallic sphere, which he isn't sure what it is, but guesses that it's a mine. In a final display of frustration, Tailgate punches the wall, somehow shattering the glass in the windows. And when we see a super weird image of Getaway basically being gagged and bound.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I don't like this. It feels like the wrong kind of fan service.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, then Wrong, Skids, and Freud come across Tailgate. They explain that those spheres Tailgate found are people, and that if Sunder gets in your head, he can make you panic, forget how to transform properly, and you can turn yourself inside out. And because of that, the rest of the crew are on lockdown in their rooms. We also learned that the group is trying to find Chrome Dome and stop Sunder from digging too deep into Skid's memories. But as they say that, guess who pops out from around the corner?
That is fucking no. I'm good.
Skids, where were we?
Yeah, he's like your sleep paralysis demon. Anyway, cut to Skid's memories. Tarn tells him that the teleporter works better than ever, and as part of their deal, he's released 50 inmates to safety. Skids gets bold and makes a demand that next time the generators break, it'll be 100 freed. Though Tarn says now that they've seen him work, they no longer need him. However, with the next mass teleport being tomorrow, they've decided to let Skids be one of the lucky travelers. And the memory ends as Skids asks if he can send somebody else in his place. In the present, Wrong tries to shield Skids from Sunder's gaze as Sunder switches his attention to Freud. Once again, Thomas, these two panels.
Freud, partner, so kind, so caring, but heaving with sin, full to the brim with blue-back sap. Open up, Freud. That's what you say to your patients, isn't it? Open up.
So Freud gets his fill of karma, being turned inside out just as help arrives in the form of Thunderclash, Megatron, and Chrome Dome as Thunder tries to run away from the group. Chrome Dome is able to seal off the rest of Skid's memories, and as Thunder reaches his ship, it's revealed that his ship is actually the body of Thunder's dead brother and that he can use it as a mech.
That's so wow. That's just wrong. Okay.
That's what's wrong with this issue. Okay.
No, but it's it's one of the more fucked up things.
Hey, Mikey. Have you met my big brother? Scepter and I were very close. We still are.
That's weird.
Yeah, I think that's the last quote I actually have for you, Thomas. So,
Okay.
Thunderclash, but good job. Little clap. Thunderclash continues to act all heroic, but then immediately gets got by Thunder. And in case you needed a reminder that Thunderclash is constantly receiving life-threatening injuries, and Thunder tells Megatron that he's next. Then Ron comes in, remote controlling his model ships, and is able to take out Thunder's eyes, telling Tailgate that if Thunder can't see him, then he can't hurt them, at least outside of them being crushed by his mech. Tailgate yells at Megatron to pick up a nearby gun to finish Thunder off. However, Megs just sits there and tries to talk Thunder down to no avail. Then Tailgate is somehow able to pick up the rod pod and throw it at Thunder, crushing him. Over in the epilogue, Rung tries to resign. Megatron tells him that he can continue acting as the ship's psychologist or psychiatrist so long as his patients choose to continue wanting to see him. But Rung actually takes accountability for his actions and discontinues his practice. Additionally, we find out that when Tailgate exploded a few issues back, that was basically his X gene activating, and now he's got enhanced strength, abnormal speed, and some invulnerability.
What are you talking about? What are you talking
Lastly,
Mikey.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we've established this many a times. Again, when we're done this, we'll have to make a compilation of all the X-Men comparisons.
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
man.
But lastly, in the present, Rodimus asks Megatron why he didn't shoot Thunder earlier, and Megatron says he's done being a killer, attacking people before they can attack him, and renounces violence regardless of the provocation or consequences. Finally, we see the end of Skid's repressed memory with him, Quark, and others in line to be teleported to a new planet. However, they quickly realize something isn't right, as once inside the teleporter, it starts getting hot and blaring Tarn's music. Just then, Tarn teleports Skids alone to his office to admire his handiwork, as we see that this isn't a teleporter, but a smelting pot. And that's the end of issue 49 in the issue of volume 9. What do we think?
That ending is super dark.
I'm like mentally scarred.
It's super dark and super edgy, and I feel like it's too much. I feel like the direct parallel to a gas chamber basically is too much for even an edgy Transformers comic, you know?
Again, James Roberts needs some therapy. He needs help. I feel this is a lot.
But otherwise, yeah, it was a fun issue, I guess.
You're lying.
I don't know if fun's the right word to describe it.
You can
Maybe entertaining, but even that, I'm on.
Man, I could feel the pain in that and what you said. I could feel the pain in there. Yeah.
That's back to a less depressing panel.
I mean, this issue was I thought it was fine. I don't know how I would rank Sunder amongst the other villains that we've had so far, but I kind of like him. I love his design, and I love the way they draw to make him super menacing and scary. But it's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But this issue was, as what Matt said, it was fun.
Question mark.
Yeah.
There's so much wrong in this issue. I don't care how wrong.
What
But
about
that,
all the skid stuff? That's like the other plot.
no, wait, no, the skit stuff is fine. I actually like the skit stuff. But yeah, I don't give a shit about Rung either. So I mean, it's just like
Freud's an evil jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think about like the Megatron stuff and like the Tailgate stuff? All the other stuff that isn't wrong in this issue, basically.
I'm sorry, I'm still on the fact that like it took Tailgate to watch the love of his life get shot at and crumble for his ex cheat.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Hilarious. Tailgate stuff was fine. I mean, I honestly don't have anything to say on this issue besides like it was fun and it was fine. But like the Megatron stuff, I mean, I'm always gonna like Megatron. Megatron is always great, so I can't really complain about Megatron at all. But nah, it's just this ending, bro. I don't know, like when I finished reading this, I was like, you know, those typical things are just like, oh, like how are they gonna get out of this? Find out next on Dragon Ball Z. That's how I figured out. That's what I thought. Like it's like, cause it's like, how the fuck are they gonna get out of that? That's But again, I do see why you think it would be too much, and I agree, because like this issue alone is a lot of just dark shit in here. So if it ended on something extremely dark and edgy like that, it's just like, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth a little bit. So I can see that.
It just feels like I said, too much, a little weird, because we've already established like the GGD and Decepticons did quite a few war crimes. We know they're the bad guys. We know they were fascists. Like I don't know that we really needed that, but it's there, I guess. You know.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I thought this issue was fine. It was a fine issue. That's it.
So, do we have? I guess we'll move into final thoughts then.
All right, hold on. I need to cue the Linkin Park. Give me a second. All right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Matt's gonna lose his mind by the final one in 2 weeks. So what do we think about this volume as a whole?
It's enjoyable. I like it. That mostly that Cyclonus issue really carries it.
Yeah, I'll say this arc overall was fine, but just like I think the stuff with Grimlock was was my favorite stuff, as well as the Cyclonus and Tailgate stuff. That issue 47 was the best issue out of them all, due to the way it was written, and yeah, just how fun it was. I don't know, but like
I would agree that it's or I agree that the Cyclonus issue is probably the strongest issue in this. I like the stuff with the Scavengers. Again, I feel like that's kind of inconsequential.
yeah.
I would say most of these outside of the Cyclonus one are mostly inconsequential, outside of like this Megatron moment I have here and like a couple other little things. Like this volume's a bunch of the, like one-shots and mini arcs, but like it's not like the fun ones like we did last volume more than meets the eye, so it's not as fun to me. Like I wouldn't rate this as one of my favorite volumes, you know, but it's fine.
Yeah, like that's the thing though. Like some of the other issues, yeah, they do feel like one shots that don't really lead up into anywhere, and like it doesn't feel like because the next volume is the last one, so like it doesn't feel like they're gonna go back to like because it seems like those other issues with like the Scavengers and all that stuff seem like they're leading to something, but in reality, like we probably don't have enough time to even like brush up on that, so we probably won't even see the aftermath of all that stuff. So I don't know, it's feeling significant, except for like the Cyclonus and Tailgate stuff, because that's important to the story.
Yeah, this issue felt like it was wrapping up a lot of loose ends that were established way earlier and then kind of dropped with Scavengers, and then again with...
I don't know for sure, but I imagine like this kind of stuff that they were doing was like the stuff they wanted to do before they decided they were going to put Megatron in their comic, you know?
I think so. It feels like Megatron joining the Lost Light was not anticipated from the beginning.
I doubt it was.
But it was, even if it was an accident, it was an accident that I loved, because I love Megatron.
I love Megatron. In this
I don't want to see him back as a Decepticon, because I think it's just like he's more fun this way.
It's interesting, and this is something that maybe we'll talk more about tomorrow after we finish the series. I love
We're finishing the series tomorrow. Since when?
Next.
I know.
episode.
Yeah.
I love the Megatron as an Autobot stuff. I think it's fantastic, and I love how Megatron in this book. It also feels like it totally derailed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was meant to shake up the book, and shake up the book it did, for better or worse.
Mhm.
And I think that's a question, and I don't know. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Maybe you can answer that by 2 weeks from now when we do our final thing. So speaking of which, next episode is our last volume of Morning Meets the Eye, people. That's volume 10. It's covering issues 50 through 55. Now, technically, there are 56 and 57 of Morning Meets the Eye, but they're like event tie-ins that don't have like 99% of the main characters, so we're not counting those. This is where the trade cuts it off.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that?
Because it's fucking stupid. But anyway, that'll be streaming on April 3rd, 2023 at 8 p.m. We'll see how close to 8 we actually get.
Yeah.
And before we sign off, I just want to know, just for fun, what are your predictions for the last volume here?
Megatron dies.
I was about to say. Either Megatron dies or like
this moment.
everyone will die. Megatron dies or everyone will blow up and die. That's my prediction.
Tailgate kicks Rodimus in the crotch.
Megatron dies to save Rodimus, and the Knights of Cybertron are not mentioned once.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, no, I would be genuinely surprised, like genuinely shocked. My jaw will drop if the actual ending of the book is they actually find the Knights of Cybertron and actually stick to what they started from the first issue.
When's the last time they even talked about the Knights of Cybertron?
I don't even remember.
Probably
Like-
when Megatron was like weaseling out of his trial.
I think so.
Yeah, like that's crazy. The fact that the goal of the entire like Lost Light mission was to find that Cybertron, and we're like 50.
It's not about the destination; it's about the journey.
Oh, fuck off.
Journey.
Oh, fuck off, man. No, like that. I'm not gonna say as my prediction, but like, if that did happen, I would actually like laugh my ass off. I'm like, finally, we're here. Finally, we're gonna see the Knights of Cybertron. But I don't have any of the other predictions. Like, I'm just gonna go into the next volume blind as hell and be surprised on what I do find at the end of the tunnel. So, but also like, I want to know what Rung turns into, but you can just save that for tomorrow. Fucking Matt. See, look what you did. I mean, next week, 2 weeks from now. Fuck. Okay.
Monday, April 3rd, around 8 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
around.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm excited. So, yeah.
Yeah, be there or be square, people. It's our last one.
Yep.
All right. Are we good? We're good.
Yeah,
So I can
anything
just,
to plug, Mikey?
anything to plug? I don't think so. Actually, that's just new.
Any next series you want to plug?
I'm joking. I'm kidding. Obviously, I have stuff to plug. People. Yeah. So thanks for everyone who have been watching this or will watch this. We appreciate the support. Just real quick, just quick plugs. Check out the King the Conqueror clip because it's hilarious and I love it. Check out that. Check out the last Indie Corner After Dark episode 14, where we talked about Last of Us and some Daredevil stuff and some Ninja Turtle stuff. That was really fun. Also check out some of Rebecca's stuff, Rebecca's Dead Space playthroughs, which are like very fun, and people should watch them because they're great and they're a good time. Also, rewind the tape, check out the Drift stuff. That Drift episode was great, and me and Rebecca had a lot of fun, and Matt wasn't there, and he missed out, and he hurt my feelings. I just wanted to get that across. I'm just kidding, Matt. You didn't hurt my feelings. You had stuff. You had stuff.
He also missed the holiday special.
You did. You also missed the holiday special as well, and it was a good Starscream one shot in there too. Oh, dude, it was so good. Check out the Sanford Green stuff, and also check out the Flash reaction because that's also been doing very well. Like, why? Like we did that shit super late, and people are watching it. Like, I'm just like, okay, that was a surprise. Also to plug, as Rebecca said, our next series that we're gonna do after Transformers, we're gonna be starting up my favorite series of all time after Invincible, of course, Deadly Class by Rick Remender and Wes Craig. I'm super excited. I love this series to death, and it's gonna be a good time. So be on the lookout for more announcements of that in the future. And yeah, that's basically it, people. Appreciate the support. We love you. We're at 107 subscribers. Hopefully we get more. We get to 200 by the end of the year, maybe. And as always, get home safe. Check out all the other content, and we'll catch y'all next time. All right. Later. Bye-bye.
Bye.